Hey everyone, so I'm back. It's been about 11 months and I'm finally doing another video. Some people, I kind of teased what I'm going to be um, looking at today, but unfortunately my shoulder is injured from a injury at work, so I am not working. So I'm going to be working on my channel. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something different that most people were looking for. So I'm going to be doing consignment and pawn shop finds. I'm going to be uploading them here and there throughout the week. So first things first is one of my first consignment guns I picked up since moving to my new home. So it is the FEG P9R, imported by Century Arms. This gun I confirmed to be unloaded before handling the firearm, but notice I'm not pointing at the camera like some other channels. I'm not going to name names, but always treat a gun as loaded until you confirm otherwise. Now that I've confirmed, I always like to check down in the barrel to make sure there is not a round. So this gun is safe to handle. So this gun was created by Hungary, produced by the company FEG, and it's a 9mm, gosh, tongue-tied, Parabellum. So this is easily one of the better surplus guns to get because ammo is easy to find. Anywhere where there's a gun shop, they're going to sell 9mm. I will say this gun is heavy. I don't want to handle it with my left hand because my shoulder is extremely weak right now, but it has some good weight to it. Now, the benefits to that is it has good weight to it, so when you're shooting it, the recoil is pretty dispersed. So this is pretty much the Browning Hi-Power meets a Smith & Wesson 59. Kind of an odd gun, but they did this because they had the PA63. How to remember all these initial for models. So they were using the Jericho at one point till they came up with the PA63. The PA63 was pretty much Hungary's Makarov. They used that for a while till they came up with the P9R. So this one is one of the earlier import models. You could tell because of the wood grips. This is exactly how they came from the factory. Notice the nice beaver tail there. So no matter how you grab the gun, strong arm, weak-handed, whatever you want to do, don't limp wrist the guns, guys. It looks sad at the range. I've seen guys like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please no. Then they start complaining the guns aren't cycling, whatever. Strong wrist your guns at least. Anyways, so these guns, super easy to take care of, easy to clean. So flip this around there. Just like modern pistols, it has the takedown lever. Push that through. You don't even need tools for this gun. No joke. What I like to do is I'll grab it like so. Watch your fingers. Never stick your finger in here. I've done it once and I cried. Not a pleasant experience. This slide coming back on your finger. Pull out the pin. Boom. Whole thing. Alright, so how you take this gun apart is this lever right here. You push down as you're stripping the slide off. After that point, boom. Just like most pistols, you have this right here. Easy to clean. Make sure you lubricate your parts, guys, because let's be honest, nobody in their right mind is going to run a pistol dry. Other than that, pretty easy gun to clean up. Most guys that handle modern day production 9mm or any kind of pistols will see it's pretty much exactly like most pistols. It's a pretty easy gun. It's not the easiest to take apart for the first time. because you do have to remember the lever as you're putting it off and on the gun. So you have to have the lever down as you're putting it on, and this locks the slide in place. So there we go. Took me a second to remember that. So then push the slide back. Oh, that is heavy. All right. It's a little oily. So I usually oil my guns I don't shoot so they could sit for long periods of time. So this does not have a mag safety. I believe the current imported ones do have a mag safety, and they also have a safety on the slide. I could be wrong about the safety on the slide, but I'm pretty sure the P9RCs have at least the mag safety, which in my opinion, I hate mag safeties. If I want to run my gun without a mag in it, I want to be able to do so. These mags are getting harder and harder to find because they do not fit with a Browning mag, Browning Hi-Power mag. These are specific to the P9Rs. So these mags are, I think, running for like $37, $38 if you can find them. That's the hard part these days. They're a little bit different, and when they seat in the gun, there's this little base plate here, which actually kind of adds as like a pinky rest, at least for me, because there is a little bit of gapping in between. Let's see if I can capture that. There we go. So my pinky stops right about that ridge there. Other than that, the sights are pretty low, but I actually like it. So I have actually shot at stuff up to about 20-25 yards on this pistol. And we were shooting at a metal chair one day out at about, I want to say 25-30 yards. And my buddy was impressed. I'm actually hitting this chair consistently with this pistol. He's like, here, let me try. And he shot the leg off the chair. So we're like, oh, that's cool. So that was my first experience of shooting this pistol. Ever since that point, I've wanted more FEG pistols. But I always wanted a high power. But I didn't want to pay the price. I kept going around looking at high powers, and then I couldn't justify the price. Not knocking them, because they're awesome guns, and I definitely want a World War II era high power. But then a couple months ago, right there, so this is imported by KBI, and this is a PJK 9HP, also known as high power. So this is FEG's version of the high power after this one. So it gets a little confusing because they developed this one to be different from the high power, but then developed this one as a high power. And yeah, so there is one complaint with the FEG PJK 9HPs. One single complaint. And that is, so just to make sure the gun is unloaded, because again, treat every gun as loaded until it's not. Chamber is clear, so gun is safe to fire. Notice that safety is not on the gun. No ammo in there. And mag safety. I hate this on surplus guns. Like, I hate it. But there is a way to disable it, thank God. I don't think I'm going to do it because it does actually influence how the trigger pressure is. And it does create some little issues you have to fix. I don't know if I want to go that far, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. Oh well. So it does have a mag safety, but I will say this. So Browning Hi-Powers are known for hammer bites like none other. There's also slide bites and So yeah, with this one, if you notice, pulling that back, no way that can cause a hammer bite, nor can it cause a slide bite. No matter how I try to grab this, it won't ever contact my skin. The only reason it would contact my skin is if I had my finger out here, hand, whatever. This slide might bite my finger if I put it there. But other than that, yeah. So, other than the mag safety and, this part here, which I wish I didn't have to deal with, but I believe it's due to the mag safety. You press it, pull the mag, even halfway out, you got to kind of yank them out. This is due to how the housing is inside. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's like this frame inside that grabs the mag, engages the mag safety, and it's actually simple design, super easy to disable, but then again, like I said, it changes how your trigger is. Some people say it decreases, some people say it increases. I don't know, I don't want to change how the gun was made that way. So to take it apart is actually super, super easy. Takedown lever, just like most modern day guns. Again, gotta love the FEG models. Grab the gun. I like grabbing it by the slide where the ridges are. Pull out takedown. Boom. Simple, easy, no tools needed. You could literally field strip your gun on the field if need be. Super, super easy design, just like most modern day guns. Very, very common Browning high-power style. And hopefully that didn't just screw up my video by that stupid security warning, but there we go. Super, super easy. Pull out the spring, barrel comes out, just like most pistols. Now there is another complaint with this gun, unfortunately. So FEG, I don't know why they designed the guns like this. Hopefully it's not like this for their military and their police models, because that's going to be kind of sad. So I took this out and I'm firing it, and trigger stayed like that. And at first I thought it was the mag. And then I let one of my buddies shoot it, the same one that actually told me about this one here and told me to come pick it up. This one, he started shooting and said, hey, your trigger's not resetting. So I was like, okay. I noticed you had to kind of, it sat back here with a loaded mag, and I had to kind of push it forward. So that told me pretty much the spring inside is either worn out or not in spec. So I did some research, and I'm not going to pull out the trigger pack because the spring yeets itself at 300 miles an hour, and good luck trying to find it. So I'm not going to do that. But here is, so here is the spring here, this little takedown, and then the spring sits right under this. Let's see if I can get it a little closer. Oh, and there is the housing right here where the mag sits in. Let's see if actually I can turn it around. So there is the frame that I think the mag's catching on and causing the mag to not drop freely. So you got to yank the mags. But so the problem I saw with these pistols is just the weak spring. I mean, just playing with it, it feels gritty. It feels nasty, to be honest. And these are a pain to get taken apart and put back together. Literally, your tolerances are like barely enough to get in there, and then the spring shoots out, and you're like, now to find the spring, put it back together. Other than that, I really like this gun. I'm like 100% confident once I replace the spring, which can be found. Browning high-power springs do work in it, or you could just go on a website, and I could provide that if need be to people who need it, that own these guns. that have witnessed the same issue. Mind you, my shoulder is extremely weak, so I don't have the power to push this pin in, unfortunately. Don't get injured at work, guys. It ain't fun. So, it takes me a couple tries. There we go. Maybe. There we go. So it's 100% in, you know, because this pin right here. So the other thing I liked about this gun is it does have a slide safety. That also means that this is one of the later imports, which would make sense because of around the year this gun was produced. So they started doing mag safeties and also slide safeties to meet up with importation laws. So it is not an ambidextrous slide safety, it's only on one side. But honestly, you could flip it like this. Sorry left-handed guys, that's going to be kind of hard. I guess you got to kind of do this weird kind of moving your thumb over. I don't know how you will engage that if you ever want to use your slide safety, but right-handed guys, it's easy to just be like, okay, I'm going to move my thumb up and boom. I would not recommend putting this in a leather holster because of how the metal is. This is a cold blue gun, which means that it's gone through a rusting stage, and leather plus this for long periods of time will cause your gun to rust in humid conditions. Personally, a more modern day holster would work. I would not recommend Safariland holsters, guys. Get some quality holsters. Anyways, so this is an awesome gun. I really like FEGs, even with the spring issue. Once I realized, oh, it's just the spring and bringing the trigger forward, even though I had to pretty much manually reset my trigger every single time, I liked it. So I picked this up for about $245. $300. So most modern day pistols cost around $500. I have two surplus guns that shoot 9mm and you could get anywhere. Both have a iconic history for Hungary. Both have appealing designs, in my opinion. I mean, this is to purists odd as hell looking because it's a Smith & Wesson 59 meets a Browning. But this one right here, I mean, besides the fact that it's marked clearly right there, Hungary, if I were to strip that off, would you be able to tell it's not a Browning Hi-Power? I haven't ever handled a Browning Hi-Power, but I could probably say odds are not. I like cold blue handguns. They just refer to a time when it was quality over quantity. So yeah, FEG guns, in my opinion, I've shot several different ones. They all function. This is the only gun I've ever met up with FEG where I've had to replace the springs, but then again, this is a gun from a pawn shop store, and we all know what happens at pawn shop stores. These guns are neglected, they're ran dry. You always got to check the slides to make sure they're not worn down, because a lot of these guys run their guns dry and causes issues. The other thing you want to always check is the hammer condition. So there's still plenty of polish, which leads me to believe this gun wasn't shot much, most likely because of the trigger, and a lot of guys did that with these guns. They would try to fire them and they thought the gun was garbage, so they would just pawn them off or give them away, and so they kind of just sat until one day someone's like, hey, I'll replace the spring, and boom. And there's a huge forum write-up about it from a few years ago, and so luckily I found that. Otherwise I would have just thought to change out the spring anyways, because if your trigger isn't resetting, that's your spring. So enough about the spring. This, as far as I know, everything from a Hi-Power fits into this. The mags are Hi-Power. The grips are Hi-Power. The slide is high power. The trigger is high power. The springs are high power. The only thing I believe that is not interchangeable, and I might be wrong, is the barrel. And the hammer, I was told, is slightly different. Other than that, everything should swap out just fine. But yeah, so if you have any questions, please shoot me a message. If you have any insight or anything I said that was incorrect, please correct me. I am still learning. I am a enthusiast just like anyone else, so if I've said anything wrong, please let me know. Other than that, I plan to be uploading more videos. So yeah, I'll catch you all later. Peace out.